Check. Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Brandon Tower, Cardinal 1548, hotel holding short 20.
Okay, so we're lean for taxi. Throttle's where we want it.
Alright.
Exterior lights where we want it. Avionics you just got. Transponders on, so we'll get ATIS now.
Rolling, thank you.
12645.
Information November. Brandon Airport information November. The 1153 Zulu weather. Wind 200 at 7. Sky condition better than 5005.
Nice.
Temperature 16, altimeter 3014. LDA and visual approach in use. Brandon landing and departing runway 20. VFR aircraft entering Bradley Charlie airspace. Advise ground control prior to taxi with destination with transponder code assignment. Voluntary noise abatement procedures in effect. Advise you have information November.
Okay.
Alright.
The other day they had a NOTAM for the run-up area on 2 closed, I guess because they're doing some construction.
Yeah, they're doing the dredging work there.
Right. Okay, so we have our ATIS information. We're ready to taxi.
Alright.
Alright, so I will check my brakes.
Now before you move, what else could you do to make sure your radios were squared away?
Good point. I could put in my my ground and my power frequency, so 121.6.
And when you look at the radio frequencies there, when you kind of like go through the initialization pages on the GPS, once it syncs, make that be your time maybe to go through and get that done and make sure everything's all squared away.
Okay, that makes sense.
Perfect. Because then that way when you're close to the movement area, you're not heads down. So, right, excellent. All right, cool. Let's go.
So I'll apply power against the brakes, make sure the brakes hold.
Brandon Ground, Skyhawk 12766, hotel with November, squawk code to Great Barrington at 4,500.
And I can stop the plane.
Looks good.
And 12766, Brandon Ground, runway 20, taxi, 4,500, Great Barrington on request. Taxi, 766.
It's spring, thank God.
I know, it's gorgeous.
Leaves in the trees, amazing.
Alright, and I said we had November.
Alright.
Run a ground, Cherokee 3077, Mike, coming out of midfield with November, ready to taxi.
Cherokee 3077, Mike, Brandon Ground, runway 20, taxi via Delta and Alpha.
Runway 20 via Delta and Alpha, 77 Mike. Okay, so we're at midfield.
Alright.
He said we've got to taxi Delta and Alpha for 20, so we're going to come out here on Delta, which is straight ahead. Take a left on Alpha. Taxi down Alpha, we're going to be mindful of that hotspot. There was a helicopter that landed shortly before we walked out.
Alright.
And we'll do our run-up over here at the end of Alpha.
Sounds good.
Before we do that, I'm going to switch my tanks.
Yeah, excellent.
So I got good fuel pressure, fuel pump's off. We're switching from left to right. Fuel pressure's still good. Airplane's still running.
Alright.
And away we go.
Perfect.
Cardinal 48 Hotel, contact Bradley departure 123.905 for advisory now.
Alright.
Looks good.
Take care, thanks.
So for the next time we meet up, because I'm thinking we're going to fly today and probably one more time after this, and that'll probably be that.
Yep.
I'm going to have you plan me a cross country to Reading, Lancaster, or where's the other one he likes to go? Reading or Lancaster. Okay. And we're going to base all of the oral prep discussion around that, because that's what your check ride's going to do. Okay. So we'll spend probably
766
an hour or two talking through that. Okay. And then we'll fly one more time, and then I'm going to sign you off.
766 departure frequency will be 123.905.
Yeah, I think we're on a schedule for the next 2 days. So.
74.
You will have a sign off before the end of the weekend. That's the goal.
766. That would be awesome.
467.
Hope I'm ready.
I'm not worried about it, man. You're like my golden child, so, it's like, I don't have any concerns. Yeah, it's a Falcon 2000 over there, that big jet.
Yeah.
I can't believe they took that in here. I don't even want to know what the numbers look like on that.
Alright, our hotspot's clear, the helicopter's gone.
Perfect.
1
my favorite time to be up in the morning this time of day. It's just perfect out.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
This is where your check ride's going to be too, is this early in the morning usually. It's either an 8 a.m. slot or a noon slot. It's never later than that.
Yep.
What's that?
No, I was going to say I took it up the other day, and initially I didn't think I was going to be able to get up because it was really cloudy, but it was like at 12,000 feet. And a little showery, but man, it was perfect.
Spectacular, huh?
Oh.
That's when you get a day like that.
Yeah, not a bump, nothing. Alright, so we'll come up behind this guy. We're clearing left, right. We'll spin it around here.
Alright.
We give ourselves plenty of clearance. Don't want to get right behind him.
Sure.
Straighten out that wheel. Alright. Get on the brakes back to 1,000. And we'll do our ground check. So, ground check. Mixture is going to go to full rich. Feet on the brakes, throttle to 2,000 RPM. There's 2,000. We'll check our magneto here. So we got left magneto. And got about a 75 RPM drop there. Comes back. About a 50 RPM drop there. It comes back. Suction gauge is good. Oil temperature and oil pressure. Oh, oil temperature still coming up. Oil pressure's in the green. Oil pressure's always high on this guy.
It is, and that's okay.
Annunciator panel check. RP check. Get a drop in RPM. That's good. We'll bring it back down idle. Make sure it runs with the carb heat on at idle. And it does.
Perfect.
Carb heat off. Back to 1,000.
Just 12766, Brandon Tower, runway 20, clear for takeoff, right turn north.
So before takeoff checklist, again, master switch is on. Flight instruments, 3014 was our altimeter. Let's get that dialed in. 30124. Here's good. This is fine. That's done. Get this lined up. I like to put that on 20.
Cessna 688 Charlie Mike, Brandon Tower, make left traffic, runway 20. Report a 2-mile left base.
Right on 1. Alright. Fuel's on the tank we're going to take off on. Fuel pumps on. Engine gauges are fine. Carb heat is off. Seat backs erect. Mixture set to full rich. Primer is locked. Belts and harnesses are fastened.
They're good.
Empty seat belts. Empty seats are empty. Flaps. We'll talk about what takeoff we're going to do. Trim tab is set to neutral. Check my controls. Pardon my controls here. That was you, I think. Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, sorry.
That's alright. Kneecaps.
So controls are free. Exterior lights, we'll get our lights here for takeoff.
Alright.
Transponder, we'll just go ahead and set that to altitude now. And you'll get the door when we're ready to take off.
Good. Let's see a short field takeoff.
Short field takeoff. Okay, so for a short field takeoff, we want to get 2 notches of flaps in, 25 degrees. So for a short field takeoff, we want to accelerate to 52 knots. We're going to rotate at 52 as opposed to 55 on a normal takeoff. We'll maintain 52 until we're clear of the theoretical 50-foot obstacle, and then start pitch the nose forward, start to accelerate to VY 79, and we'll work our flaps out.
Sounds good, sir.
All right. Before takeoff briefing.
Cessna 766, contact departure 123.
Once we get clearance to take off, we're going to line up runway 20. We're going to make sure that matches. Full power, make sure, well, for the short field, we're going to actually line up and stop at the beginning of the runway. Full power, make sure it's developing full power on the tack here, release the brakes. Once we get going, if we're not off the ground before midfield, we're going to retard the throttle, use the remainder of the runway to stop. I think with 25 degrees of flaps, we'll probably be fine. Yeah, alright, assuming all else goes well. Otherwise, we'll rotate at 52, we'll climb out. If we lose the engine below 1,000, we're going to pitch for best glide, 73 knots, pointing straight ahead, small corrections, looking for someplace to put it down. The field just past the river that we can try and make. The wind's pretty much straight down the runway, so if we're above 1,000 and we want to make the turn back, I guess we'll probably turn right because that's where the windsock's favoring a little bit. So above 1,000 feet, we'll turn back, try to make it back to the airport here using any straight surface to land.
Now, what was that soft field procedure again?
Soft field?
Soft field.
What do you mean?
Because you described a short field takeoff to me. So what would a soft field look like?
Oh, soft field procedure would be, did you say soft field?
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I thought you said, I heard short field.
That's okay.
So for a soft field, we're actually going to once we get clearance, we're going to taxi out with the elevator full back. We're not going to stop. We're going to make a nice wide turns, get on the center line, keep on rolling without stopping. Full power. We're going to let the nose come up off the ground. We're going to get off the ground as soon as possible. Once we're off the ground, I'm going to pitch forward a little bit to try and stay in ground effect till we get up to.
Yeah, you got it. All right, good. Just making sure we're on the same page.
All right, good.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
And then you just want to remember to put that function button on.
Yep. That's a little better. The geometry of these seats is a little different than 7.6 Mike. I feel like the controls are more like stuffed in my lap.
Yeah, no, it's bigger yoke, I think, that's why.
Yeah. Alright, so we're on ground, we'll switch to tower.
Okay.
And we're going to go southwest?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. Brandon Tower, Cherokee 3077, Mike holding short runway 20, ready for departure southwest.
3077 Mike, Brandon Tower, runway 20, cleared for takeoff, right turn on course approved.
Runway 20, clear for takeoff, right turn on course, 77 Mike. Okay, so soft field. So we're going to go full back in the elevator here, starting now. We want to keep rolling, make sure we don't stop, so let's check. Fuel pump, landing lights, power heat's off, primer's locked.
Good, and I see that you were looking, but just vocalize, you know, looking for traffic on the approach end on the runway as you cross.
Okay. And we are lined up at 20. Full throttle. There comes the nose.
Big thing is hold that back pressure because it's got to come off. There you go.
There we
now
go.
lower the nose. Good.
There's the VY. Or not VY, there's 55. So as we're building up airspeed here. Start to work those flaps out.
Good.
Flaps are out, got a positive rate of climb, we're pitching for VY.
Nice. Good job.
There's VY. Over the river here.
Still got a little bit of fog to deal with this morning, looks like.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie, Mike's on the 2 mile left base, runway 20, and we're going to have to be a full stop, sir.
Runway Charlie Mike, roger, runway 20, clear to land, wind 180.
Alright, 700 feet, so we'll make a turn southwest.
Charlie, Mike.
Yeah, make it like a 220.
Much of a day for sightseeing out there.
Simply gorgeous here. This is the father and daughter flight, and it's a great tradition.
Nice, well, good for you.
Yeah, visibility is definitely.
Yeah, some of this morning fog hasn't just kind of burned off yet, but it's alright. Just wondering how that's going to make us work out for maneuvers
Your
here.
in-flight visibility looks a little hazy.
It is that. You're looking at maybe 5, 6 miles at best.
Nah, there's more than that.
Trouble picking out the airport from the west, looking into the sun a little earlier.
There's a lot of moisture floating around here, fog and so forth.
Pollen.
Boy, you got that. Boy, does it get me.
Alright, so we'll do our after takeoff checklist.
This time seems.
So fuel pump off, landing lights off.
Better than snow.
We'll leave the wing lights on.
That's for sure.
Retracted.
But it's wonderful to be back up here.
Let's go a little more west. Give me like 250 on heading.
Okay.
Looks worse down by the shore, so I'm trying to get us a little more over this way where we have more of a horizon to work with, or any horizon for that matter.
Gauges are good. Current altitude you want me to shoot for?
Let's go up to 32.
32.
Actually, I lied. Let's go to 45.
45.
We'll start high and work our way down.
Okay. Nice and calm.
Yeah, it's a nice thing in the morning. This is, I mean, you can kind of see the inversion. It's here, see the little layer in between.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's not enough of one, and the winds are calm enough that you're not going to get that shear as we go through it.
And taxi to the midfield ramp.
Charlie Mike, thank you.
My bigger concern is actually having my bigger concern is us actually having a horizon for you to do maneuvers with.
Well, I always got the bug at least.
Yeah.
We don't want to rely on that, but.
So if we can't do stuff like steep turns or whatever because we just don't have the visible horizon for it, we can do everything else today, and then just hit those couple of things that we would need to do, you know, next time. So that's not going to take long to do. So.
Okay.
Dan, do you know where you are? What town is this right here?
I would guess Meriden? No. That's the Yukon Medical Center right there, right?
It is?
What's below that? It's more me not knowing my towns, I think, because you see the Merritt Parkway right there.
All right.
That's 84 over there. I don't know what the name of this town is, to be honest.
Well, if you didn't know, where could you find that information
I
out?
can look at my section.
Oh, okay.
New Britain.
New Britain, sure is. What airport's near New Britain, kind of?
Robertson?
Yeah. So where would Meriden be now?
To the south.
Yep.
Hard to see the Robertson Towers in this, though.
You really can't, yeah, unless you're, you know, right where you're looking. Not too much. If you look further south, you can't see the shoreline, can't see New Haven. Yeah, it's definitely one of those kind of days out here. I was hoping, sometimes you get above this stuff and you can actually see the ground again. You can get above a little layer like this, but this, that's almost like cloud. I mean, that's not even really like fog. That's almost like a little cloud layer.
Yeah. Now, is that traffic right there?
It is.
Okay.
800 feet above us.
Climbing.
Orbiting where we are. So I tell you what, go right to 270.
270.
What a beautiful day.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to grab the hood.
Okay.
And we're going to do some torture to start. So I have the flight controls here for a second.
You have the flight controls?
I have the flight controls. Here's the hood.
Thank you. Let me just get myself situated here.
Sure. Oh, you can just keep that head down once you can just keep that head down and not head in your lap, eyes closed while I kind of play around with your
Inner ear.
Yep. Vestibular senses for a minute or two.
Eyes closed, head down.
Do a little Dutch rolling here to screw those up pretty good. Okay, look up and recover for me. So it's the first thing, yep, power, push, and level. Good. So what we wanted to do a little differently there.
Pull the power all the way back?
Yeah, get the power off, and then push, level, and then smoothly up.
Okay.
So, eyes closed on your lap again, I'm going to mess with you one more time.
Okay.
Maybe two. I have the flight controls.
Go flight controls.
I have the flight controls.
This hood thing stinks.
What's that?
This hood thing stinks.
I know, no one enjoys it.
No, it's just kind of floppy and it doesn't stink.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's not the best. Alright, this is kind of an easy one, but look up and recover. Yeah, pretty much get the nose down and keep it level. When you're level, then don't descend and kind of try to hold your altitude. Alright, good. One more. Eyes closed, head down. I've got the flight controls.
Got the flight controls.
I have the flight controls. Okay, look up and recover. Good, push and then start bringing the nose up nice and slowly for the minimal loss of altitude. So see how we're descending? Don't let us descend. There you go. Good, then when we're back to level flight, what do you want to do? Yeah, get us back to cruise again. And I'm going to leave you on the hood there for a few minutes.
Okay.
Alright, so give me a left turn to a heading of 170.
Let me just get this lined up here. This was a little high, so it was making me think we were climbing when we weren't. Alright, that's better.
Good.
Okay, so left turn to 170?
170, and I would like you to find out exactly where we are right now.
170, okay. While I'm turning?
They're going to be very non-specific, so they're just going to say 170 and find out where we are.
Okay, so I'm going to turn to 170 first, get established there, so I've got a stable airplane.
Okay, I like that plan.
Alright, we're level. Turn that out. So where am I right now?
Yep.
The first thing I want to do is make sure this matches this.
I didn't mess with you today.
Alright, so actually it doesn't quite match it. Yes it does now. Okay. No it doesn't. Compasses are so touchy. Alright.
They can be. Make sure you're level when you're adjusting it too, that'll help.
Yep.
Alright.
Alright, so how would I find out where I am? I know which way I'm headed, so I'm headed Southeast, somewhat.
I'd like to know exactly where I am on the map.
I'd probably need to VORs.
Oh, okay. Good, good.
So, trying to maintain that heading.
What could you use as a tool do you have in this airplane to help you?
Autopilot?
Well, that, yeah, but you have the heading bug there too, right?
Yep.
So put it on, yeah, there you go, that'll work. It's very easy to get distracted with this stuff, and remember, goal number one, always fly the airplane, everything else can come after that, you know, including finding out where we are.
Yep.
And you're going to be in that mode to want to please him and just do everything immediately, but that's sometimes the test, is to say, can you delegate the responsibility to say, that doesn't really matter as much right now as me finding out where we are and flying the airplane first while we do it.
Right.
Remember, to get to that one, you got to push that one in. There you go.
114.9. Make that active. We want to listen.
58 nautical miles, south of...
And then if we want to listen to it, what do we have to do?
Oh, yes,
nautical
this
miles,
one.
southeast of Coyle, 234 nautical miles, northeast of Norfolk, 230 nautical miles, southeast of Washington, 238 nautical miles, south of East Texas.
All right.
Area low, IF.
Positively identified that. So now, let me get back to not climbing.
All right.
All right, so for this I have to use the HSI here, if I recall correctly. So that's
Remember,
a 2 flag, right?
Yep. Remember, don't fixate on it though, because where's your altitude gone?
Right.
So look at the attitude indicator, make sure you're not climbing, then come back to tuning the HSI, or whatever you're tuning, you know what I mean? One thing at a time. What altitude are you trying to hold?
5200 is what I was trying to hold.
All right.
So touchy.
It is, isn't it?
All right, so I want to spin this around to get a from flag. Center that up. So this is saying that I'm on a 260 from?
270, or yeah, 260, whatever you're closest to.
260.
But this whole time now that's been above that line, so always kind of keep that diligence on there, because we're slowly kind of keeping a climb going the whole time. So just gotta always kind of come back to that, because remember, EV, navigate, communicate, navigate, you know, furthest priority from flying the airplane first. Now let go, make sure you're trimmed too, because if you're really trimmed up well, you shouldn't really have to touch too much.
That's what's happening.
Because if you're continually having to keep fighting the airplane and get it to do what you want, let that be your cue that, you know, something's up, and, you know, take a break for a sec, fly the plane first, and then worry about doing anything else.
Alright. So we were on a 270 radial.
Alright.
So we can look at the map, get an idea of that.
Okay.
It's really hard to keep this stable and look at the map.
Tricky, isn't it?
So 270 radial is right here, around Hartford.
Okay.
And then we want to tune into another VOR, and we can...
About Madison or New Haven.
Yep. We'll try, we'll try Madison.
Okay.
So 110.4.
Good, and then come back to the panel and say, did I get off my heading?
Right.
Did I get off my altitude?
About 10 degrees off my heading here.
All right.
Descending a little bit. All right, 110.4.
So remember, you have 2 VORs. Why don't we...
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Do that. I hate the audio panel on this thing. There you go.
And how do I ident on this?
Just pull it out.
Okay. That's an easy one.
Yep.
All right. And then we want to get a from flag on here.
Okay.
From stable. Got a 2 flag. And we're at about a 340, no? 340 from. And I'm turning.
Okay.
Get back there. Okay, so 340 from.
So get back on your heading first, worry about getting stabilized, and worry about telling me where we are.
Okay.
Good.
Alright, 340. So here's 317. Here's 330, so 340 right here. So 270 coming out this way, 340. We're kind of centered over just to the east of Waterbury.
Okay. I'll take the goggles off now. I have the flight controls.
Alright, you got the flight controls?
I have the flight controls. Alright, look around and find Waterbury for me. Okay. Because remember, we have centered this back up again.
Right. We got off a bunch. So yeah, if I had them both at the same time, in that moment, we would have been over Waterbury.
Oh, no wonder it's set in there. Okay. So now we're more in like a 240 radial. So see if that changes your mind about where we are, and then look around and find it for me.
240 coming out of here. 340, so we're actually more over Meriden.
Ah, look behind you to the right side of the airplane. There's Meriden.
Yep.
I had you take off the bottles too because I wanted you to see this.
Yeah.
This is what low IFR and fog looks like. Right now, New Haven is calling a vertical visibility of 200 feet and less than half a mile visibility in fog. This is what it looks like. So if you flew long and you saw something like this, what would you do?
Divert. Well, not fly into it, that's for sure.
Well, you turn around, right?
Yeah, turn
That
around.
180 to get away from the weather is the best thing you can do because you get stuck over this. You got a problem.
Yep.
But this is what low IFR looks like from the air. Kind of a cool thing to see.
Yep.
So in Hartford, they're calling 10 and clear, but Meriden, and the sea fog and all that stuff hasn't burned off. This may not burn off for hours. This is advection fog right here.
Yeah.
This is what sucks in Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard and all that stuff. This is exactly what that is. So it's kind of a cool thing. You can kind of see New Haven almost ducking out over there a little bit, but not by much. Where is the Meriden Airport from here?
A2, Brandon ground, roger. And proceed via Delta, Juliet, Bravo to the Volk.
I have no idea. You turn around.
Yeah, sure. I said you picture of the fog.
Yeah.
Your job, find me the Meriden Airport, land, and show me a short field landing.
Okay. Alright, so I see 95.
Okay.
Alright, I got my bearing here. I know we got that big hill next. Oh, there's the big hill over there. Yeah, oh, there's Meriden, right? Just off about about 2 o'clock.
I feel this intense heat by my feet. Do you feel that?
Skyhawk.
We have a fire?
Yeah.
All right.
How are we gonna get down?
So we want to, reduce the power.
51, Brandon, Tower, roger. Make right traffic, runway 20.
And we want to pitch.
Right downwind.
We're on fire.
151.
What if I don't know where the fire's coming from?
What's that?
What if I don't know where the fire's coming from? What if it's bumpy?
A2, roger.
So put that nose up for me for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to show you a better way to do this. Hold that nose up to about the white arc.
Okay.
Put in all the flaps. All of them. Great. Now push the nose over to the top of that white arc. Oh yeah. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Keep pushing. Okay. Now we're coming down at about 2,000 feet per minute.
Yep.
We're coming down slower. So there's 2 benefits to this. Number 1, if we're on fire, we're not going to cause a structural integrity issue that's going to cause the airplane to rip itself apart while we try to save our lives and get on the ground.
Right.
We're definitely accomplishing the emergency descent piece of this. Just watch our speed so we don't overspeed the flaps.
Yep.
And also we can turn. So give me a right turn. Look at this, there are fields. Let's say we can't make the airport now because we're on fire and the fire's spreading rapidly and we can't get there.
Yeah.
If we did that zooming fast into the yellow arc descent, we're never going to make these fields. If we needed to now, boom, we're right here. We can make it. And it's also a convenient way for us to get the pattern altitude, so 2 for 1. So I teach this technique because I think this is leaps and bounds better than the other way.
Absolutely agree.
And we're still coming down at 2,000 feet per minute. We're not overspeeding the flaps, and we're coming down just as fast. So we're doing an emergency descent, we're on fire. What other things could you do if we're on fire? Let's say it's an electrical fire of some sort.
I could start shutting down electrical systems.
Kill everything. Master immediately off. Doesn't matter about these other things. You shut the master off, you shut everything off.
Yep.
Master off, pop doors, get the cabin ventilated, close the vents if you need to, and then get yourself on the ground. If you have a fire, you got less than 10 minutes before you're done. Okay, good. So now the plan's the same. So if we're going to go into Meriden, how are we going to do that?
Should I work all these flaps? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to switch to Meriden TTAF.
Okay.
And start listening to what's going on over there. That'd be important.
Do we want to keep flying towards the airport maybe while we do that?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Alright, so Meriden CTAF. 123.05.
And let's do that VZ north on it, man.
And what's the weather and the winds doing over there?
We can listen to their ASOS 134925. Full, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that 9-2? Oop. Oop.
That would be 925.
Okay, start tangle up.
There you go.
Governor to the statue.
So pull that out and then twist.
Oh.
There you go. It's on there now.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem.
Information not available. Meriden Markham Municipal Airport. Automated weather
Remember that controlled flight into terrain? Yeah. I put you in this situation for a reason, because there's hills here. Yep. This is how people do that. They get very busy.
Visibility 6.
You can land at either runway. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Sky conditions.
So we'll land 3-6.
Temperature
3-6.
16 Celsius.
We'll set the altimeter down.
2.11
What's that?
Celsius.
We'll set the altimeter.
3016.
3016. Alright. If you had to do that emergency descent, or if you were just descending in the land here at night, you know, you couldn't see any of this stuff. This is how people do that controlled flight into terrain. They don't mean to hit the terrain around there, but they get so task saturated in the cockpit with different things going on.
Yeah.
They lose sight of the fact that, hey, there's the ground, and here's hills, and there's stuff we can hit. Cell phone towers, any of that stuff. Okay.
And Meriden is 100 feet, so 1100 is traffic pattern altitude.
Okay, good.
And where is it? Over there.
Good.
So from this point, we're going to be entering a right base for runway 36.
Charlie Romeo Alpha, Metro 27.
Sound about right?
1E, I'm sorry, we're landing 1E.
1E.
I apologize, 1E is what we're looking for.
So we're coming around.
So we're going to be kind of set up for a left downwind, right?
Left downwind, yep. We're going to enter on a 45 to left downwind.
Great. Is there any kind of a checklist you want to do there?
We should be doing a before landing checklist. Yes?
Yep, you can do that on the panel, yep.
Right, so fuel's on a proper tank.
Okay.
We've been flying for half an hour. We want to switch that soon.
Can
we do that now? Mixture set to full rich, electric fuel pump on, seatbacks are wrecked. Flaps set, belts and harnesses fastened. We're going to get our landing lights too. I should give them a call. Meriden traffic, Cherokee 3077 Mike, entering the left downwind runway 18 Meriden.
And downtown to get Metro 29 south at inbound.
Probably a little early to say I'm entering it.
That's okay, but nope, I was in the right spot.
Bravo.
And I want to get down.
He's actually in front of me, so you can take the Alpha if you want for the Bravo, 27.
And what kind of landing do you want to see?
Short field.
Short field landing.
What's the difference between a short field landing and a normal landing?
Get on the brakes as soon as you touch down.
Yeah, not even that really. I mean, it's the whole definition of it is that it's a landing with minimal flare, or float when you flare, and that should be any landing. So
you really want to stick your approach speed, right?
Yeah, which you should always want to do anyway, right? Right. So really the difference is that there is no difference. Okay. And then when we land, just like we do when we land at Brainerd, we get the elevator all the way back at the airplane stopped as soon as we can.
Right. Okay. And there's no concept in this plane of like retracting the flaps to get the weight on. Okay.
Nope. So. Unless you're in a really short field situation, but definitely don't do that in a check ride.
All right.
That's more of a practical, like, yes, if you were really squeaking it out, but if you have to do that to land somewhere for the performance, then you shouldn't be landing there anyway.
All right, so we're coming up on traffic pattern altitude here.
Good, and we got to it before we reached the pattern, and that's important.
Yep. Don't want to get below it.
Southbound, Julie, move south, tip and mount towards Charlie.
All right. So we'll make our turn on the downwind in just a second here. I want to be more like at 90 knots here. Hey, Meriden traffic, Cherokee 3077 Mike is on the left downwind, runway 18 Meriden. Alright, so we've got everything we need there. Descending a little bit. Alright, so there's our touchdown point. Carpeet's on already.
You're just quit.
Alright.
Now what?
I'm going to pitch for 73.
Okay.
Start making my turn here.
Okay.
And Meriden traffic, Cherokee 3077 Mike turning base runway 18 Meriden. I'm getting some flaps, I got it made. Meriden traffic, Cherokee 3077 Mike turn final, runway 18 Meriden. Come on, baby.
Give it a little power.
Yeah, I came in low.
So what do we learn out of that? Just don't put your drag in until you know for absolute certain that you've got it.
Yep. I don't know if that was short field, but...
Yeah, just pull all the way back.
Yep.
Now got the brakes. Once the elevator's all the way back and you're on the ground, weight on wheels, then start doing braking. Don't do it before.
Alright, that makes sense.
There you go. Me, Charlie. Good. Alright, very nice.
Was that within tolerances? Other than I was a little short?
You got a little low, you had to add some power, so that would have been a little tough, but
okay.
Just, if you had waited like another 5 seconds to add those flaps, you would have been fine.
Yeah.
So just kind of keep that in mind.
Okay.
Better to make it than to land short because you couldn't get there, so just wait to add that drag. You could add all the flaps, there you go. You could wait to add all those flaps, like literally when you know you've got the runway numbers, because what's the goal at that point? Slow down and actually be able to get there. So wait until you absolutely are 1000% sure that you can do it. We were looking good for that, but you get somewhere like Meriden where you get a local pressure change because of these hills that change the way the wind behaves.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you can't get there and you're like, oh shit. So you want to wait until you're like right there, you know you got it, crank them in. And this airplane, 40 degrees and flaps, 7.6 Mike 2, you're going to get down in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to come down quickly.
I kind of regretted that 40 degrees as soon as I put it in.
Yeah, no, that's why I didn't say anything. I was like, all right, well, let's see if this works. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, not a big deal, but.
And I think in an emergency, we probably could have eked it out. But yeah.
If you had to, definitely, you know, but for sake of comfort and not ripping
right.
the gear off, you know, we'll put them in. Good, so we're going to do a short field takeoff and stay in the pattern here for one more landing. We'll do a soft field landing here, and then we'll go back to Hartford.
Okay.
The wind's coming out of the south, making me concerned that it's going to blow some of that fog up this way, and I can see the visibility is actually getting worse, not better, so we don't want to play too far from home. We could shoot an instrument approach if we had to, but with fog, that's always the concern, is that you're not going to get back in again.
Right. Okay.
Everything's going fine though, so, you know, very good with everything.
Okay. So I'm just going to stop here.
Okay.
And I want to switch my tanks before we take off again too.
Yeah, exactly. 30 minutes.
So I'll just switch it with it off.
Yep. And if yes, why, what would you say? Why are you doing that with the pump off?
Because I want to make sure that we develop good fuel pressure with the engine-driven pump.
Yeah, make sure the engine-driven pump's working, yep. Alright, good. Yeah, good.
Before takeoff checklist.
Yep. And then rebrief the emergencies. Just, you can even say the emergencies if we do the same things that we did briefing in Hartford, but just make sure you mention it.
Okay, that's good to know.
You can even do the takeoff checklist on the panel.
Okay.
Because the takeoff checklist on the panel, you know, keeps you in a bit of a different spot. So good.
Yep. So fuel's on proper tank, we just switched. We're happy with that. Electric fuel pump, we're going to go on. Actually, I'm going to get to 1,000 here.
Okay.
Engine gauges are looking good.
Alright.
Flaps set, you said a short field takeoff?
Yes.
Alright, so we're going to go 25 degrees of flaps for that. Carb heat is off. Mixture set full reg, primers locked, seatbacks erect. Trim tab, we're about neutral now. Controls. Sorry.
Yeah. Just my knees.
It
was my knees, yep.
Doors latched, air conditioner's off.
Good, and then if we're doing a short field takeoff, rebrief the takeoff.
Okay.
Because that's different. So use the checklist, because there's a short field takeoff checklist in there. So we
sure
want to
is.
go through that and reference.
So for a short field takeoff, we've got 25 degrees of flaps in. So we're doing this with the understanding that
There is.
hypothetical 50-foot out.
yeah.
So we got flaps in. We're going to accelerate to 52 knots. Once we get 52 knots, we're going to rotate, and we're going to maintain 52 knots until we get above 50 feet. Once we're above 50 feet, we're going to pitch the nose forward, start accelerating to VY 79 and work the flaps out.
Okay.
And then we're going to climb out at VY.
Alright. Take a land, look at the weather here. We're going to blow up before we change our plan. Boy, if it stays like this all day, I don't know if I'm going to be going too many places.
Yeah.
Alright, so while this loads, feel free to look in the air. That'll be fine.
Meriden traffic, Cherokee 3077 Mike, departing runway 18 Meriden.
And am I turning east?
We're going to stay in the pattern here for one more.
Oh, that's right.
landing.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, so short field, I'm going to taxi out onto the very end here.
Good. And make sure you identify that the bases and the final in both directions are clear.
Thank you.
One of those things, especially in a non-towered airport. Trust me, that will save your life one day when someone surprises you and you look here and you look up and there's someone on final.
Right.
Ask me if it's happened many times here, in fact. So,
Okay, so we got a straight nose wheel. Shoot me there. Now we do. So we're gonna go full power. Got good power, developing full. We're gonna release. And we're looking for 52. Right rudder. Airspeed's alive. There's 52, rotate. There's our 50 feet. Right about there. I'm gonna pitch forward. Positive rate. Airspeed's coming up. We'll work out the flaps. Flaps are out.
alright.
Pitching for VY. There's VY. We'll make our turn. Left traffic at 800 feet.
Tell you what, find me Hartford instead. See how this is blowing up this way and getting worse? So we're gonna run before it swallows up with it.
Okay. And Meriden traffic, Cherokee 3077, Mike turning left, crosswind, runway 18 Meriden.
Yeah, look out to the right, just so you can see this. Yeah, this is blowing up here?
Yep.
Getting worse. So we're gonna go away from where that's happening.
Yeah.
Meriden is one of those airports that'll just swallow you up in the weather real quick. It'll happen like that. I don't know if it's because it kind of sits a little bit lower between these ridge lines, and maybe that's why, but...
Crazy.
Oh, it can be. A buddy of mine took off from here, you know, it was a day like today, but there's a little bit of cloud on top of them, and they were calling some rain, but not until like the Bridgeport area, and he said he took off, turned around, and saw the Meriden Mountain disappearing, so you can see how close that is.
Yep.
And so by the time he turned around, they did a downwind landing to get back on the ground. It was 0-0 the minute they touched down.
Wow.
So it happens fast. So I mean, if the weather, that's why, you know, there's something to be said for not flying in marginal conditions without an instrument rating, and if you're instrument proficient even when you have one, because it can get out of hand quickly. You know, like, can you see Harvard right now?
Nope. Not even close.
All right. Well, find it for me.
All right. Well, I've got the VOR. Is the VOR on? It wasn't. It is. It is. Okay.
Outside, you got Sea 5 south of the governor's inbound. Spot show, I think you're fine.
Are you south of governor's at sector 5?
Not sure you.
Alright, so I do have the VOR still tuned in, but this is better.
Yeah, if it's marginal, we can't really see too well here. What kind of an altitude would you want to pick to fly back to Hartford?
Something low.
Low?
No? If it's marginal?
Yeah, because if we fly low, can we see stuff in front of
Well,
us?
no, you want to climb to see more.
Yeah.
I'm thinking staying below a ceiling. But
Yeah, I go what you're saying.
There really isn't a
no
ceiling.
ceiling, yeah, but there's definitely stuff we can hit though, right?
Yep.
Now, I know you could use the GPS, I mean, you know, you could, but if we were looking out the window and we were going to try to figure this out, see the GPS is broken. So just look around, what kind of stuff do you see here that you recognize out this way?
Well, I've got 95, yeah,
91?
91, thank you, right here.
Huh?
So I know I can actually just follow that right up to the airport.
Absolutely. Yep. What else do you have over here?
I've got the Connecticut River straight ahead.
Either one of those, you know, will take you right up to the city.
Those two things meet at the airport.
All right, good. You can have this back now. All right. All right, so for 13 miles away, what kind of stuff do we need to do?
Get ATIS. Must be changing it.
Brainerd Airport information, Oscar, the 1253 Zulu weather. Wind 180 at 5, sky condition better than 5,005. Temperature 18, dew point 11, altimeter 3015.
Dew-point traffic, band 5, altimeter 4 miles north, to a 20.
VFR aircraft entering Bradley Charlie airspace. Advise ground control prior to taxi with destination for transponder code assignment. Voluntary noise abate procedures in effect. Advise you have information, Oscar.
Okay, information Oscar. 180, runway 20 is still active.
Okay.
So given that, I should expect that he's going to give us some kind of left pattern to get into runway 20. Either downwind or probably downwind.
Could be left or right,
Could
right?
be, yep, could be left or right. I'm sorry, right. I meant right. Left if we're coming from the east.
Sure. All right. Get me into the pattern in Hartford. I want to see a soft field landing.
Soft field, okay. So I want to call him.
Okay, throttle for a sec. You're going to just quit again. So what are you going to do?
Pitch for best glide.
Okay. Then what?
Start looking around for someplace to put it down.
Where are we going to go? Good, yeah, look on both sides. Got any good fields down here anywhere?
I got a couple fields just off here.
All right.
Probably, maybe that one right below us there.
Good. All right, so you're Bender Field, now what?
I want to spiral down to it, I guess.
Anything else before then?
Oh, I want to go through my checklist.
Okay.
Descent checklist?
Descent checklist?
Or engine off checklist, and power out checklist, right?
Okay, is there any immediate items that we'd want to go through as a flow?
Yep, we want to make sure fuel pump's on, carburetor heat is on. Mixture set to full rich, make sure this is locked. We would want to switch tanks to a tank that has gas.
Okay. Yeah, those worked. Now what?
We want to prepare for a off-field landing.
Did we miss anything in our memory items? How would we know?
Checklist.
Oh.
You know what, let me trim there.
Good, and let that trim be the first thing you do. Best glide and trim, because that's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. Okay. Did we miss anything?
Fuel selector's at tank, fuel pump is on, mixture set to full rich, carburetor heat on, engine gauge is checked for, so we didn't check our engine gauges. Primer is locked. No.
Okay. Alright, so you said we're going to land the same power off. So, do we want to communicate with anyone before we do that?
Yeah, we'd want to communicate. Well, if we weren't talking to anybody, we'd probably want to go to 1.5
Alright.
and let them know we're going to make an emergency landing.
Alright, good. Power up, keep me going back towards the airport.
Okay. Carb it off.
And you know what, leave that on actually, because I think we're picking up some carburetor ice. Here out of the engine was kind of catching a little bit.
Yep.
That's carb ice.
Okay.
I noticed we had a slight loss of power before, so I think that's where we're getting it from. And a day like today, it's almost a guarantee because you have a shitload of visible moisture. It's the perfect temperature range for carburetor ice. Perfect.
Yep.
Alright, so we're 10 miles out.
Yep. And we've got Oscar.
Okay.
And I'm to the southwest.
Okay.
Actually, no,
Center
to the
tower,
south.
Cirrus 8554 Romeo, ready for takeoff, runway 20.
Cirrus 8554 Romeo, Brandon Tower, runway 20, cleared for takeoff.
Actually, I'm going to ask for something specific for us.
Okay.
For takeoff,
What was it again?
right turn.
Oscar?
Oscar.
Brandon Tower, good morning, Cherokee 3077, Mike 10 south with Oscar. I'd like to circle over the runway 20 threshold at 3,500 feet for a power on spiral to land full stop.
3077 Mike, roger, you can proceed as requested.
Start on
Rated altimeter 3014, report overhead the field commencing your spiraling descent for runway 20.
3014 and we'll go, Cherokee 77 Mike, thank you.
Morning, Rick.
Good morning.
Hi, Chuck.
We're going to do this on steroids a little bit, and I know we've done this before, I think, but we're going to do it again.
Okay. So the airport's actually right there.
You got it. So we want to have a little more speed with the emergency stuff. So you want to think airspeed, best glide right away. Find somewhere to go like you did. Then, communicate. Because if you're going to go down somewhere, you want someone to start knowing where you're at just so they can get to you.
Yep.
121.5 would work. Better frequency in this case for you, probably 123.95. Know the approach frequency that you're on. When we fly somewhere cross country, we're always on flight following, right?
Yep.
But we want to think about that in terms of, if we're local even, if you get on the horn with them and you put 7700 in the transponder and you declare an emergency, they're going to know where you're at. So if you're off airport somewhere, make sure you can get found when you land, because what if you got hurt? Yeah. So you want to do that stuff. Then, the memory items are, go through that flow to make sure you've got everything and you're not missing something.
Okay.
So carb heat always first in any carbureted engine, so kind of work through flow. Carb heat, fuel pump mixture, bags, cycle the fuel selector valves and primer and alarm.
Tower.
Okay. Yep, that took less than 2 seconds. We ran through everything. Yep. Then say, hey, if it's an emergency, maybe I'm a little tense. Get the checklist out, while you're keeping yourself over the place and run through the whole thing.
Kelly 197 Foxtrot, Brandon Tower, good morning. Make left traffic, runway 2, report a 2-mile left base.
Left traffic, runway 2.
Certain altitude you want me to get to? 3,500 feet.
Runway 20, the left base entry for the Sky.
Want to give you enough time.
Roger, 20197 Fox.
Gonna get out of that winter mode.
Good. Give me right like 20 degrees.
And Tower 54 Romeo would like to change over.
That's good.
54 Romeo, contact departure 123.95 now. Good day.
All right, thanks a lot for your help. Good day, 54 Romeo.
Yeah, he's never going to ask you to do this on a Checkride. This is way over and above what anyone's going to do. But this is realistic, so I want you just to get those. We don't get to do this too often, so those are skills that kind of can develop a little rust, but we're going to knock it off here this morning, and you'll be sharp as a tack by the time we land.
Okay.
And maybe ready to throw me out of the plane, but I don't know. We'll see. You're doing fine. That's what all this is for. It's just, you know, beating you up a little bit, you know.
No, that's good. And
With
again,
love.
things like the emergency checklist, we just don't do them a lot, especially when I'm in cross-country mode.
Oh yeah, and that's, you know, that's why when you come back to doing this stuff, it's like, okay, we haven't talked about this in a while, so now we're going to sharpen the knife again.
Yep.
But these are skills that are always great to practice, and there's never such a thing as too much, because, you know, if you need it, you only get one chance.
Right.
Alright, so you got the airport out there, we're 3,500. We'll spiral to the left unless you ask us otherwise, so you can actually see where you're going.
Okay.
But this is realistic. I mean, because, you know, here we are in a cross country, 3,500 feet, and then, you know, got to figure it out.
Yep.
So interestingly, full engine failures are pretty rare. Partial engine failures are the most common.
So you kind of have...
You have some.
It's in spurts of power.
Which is, you know, an important thing to say when you commit to land. Make sure that the throttle is actually all the way back. A lot of people will pull the mixture back, they'll do all that stuff, but they forget about this. You know, if you were in that flare and you got that perfect little field, you get this big blowout of power, right? That's going to be an issue, so. Yeah, this looks pretty good. It's getting nicer up here. I think that stuff's starting to slowly burn off. But down there, the winds are coming out of the south, so I mean, that's why
it's blowing up this way.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering where that's going to go. I mean,
it's supposed to get up to 80 today, so I wonder, I hope it burns off.
Yeah, there's so much moisture.
7 Mike, Brandon.
7 Mike, go ahead.
You plan to orbit over the field, probably 1 or 2 orbits prior to commencing that descent. The traffic is a Skyline inbound from the east from the left base to runway 20 to proceed you. I don't want to impinge on him, and there's additional traffic at 2,500 southbound, about 3 miles northeast of your position. About 12 o'clock, man, 2.5 miles, 2,500, looks like he's on vectors.
Okay, we've got him in sight, and we'll plan maybe left-hand turns or accommodating for the 182 traffic there.
Your plan that, sir, I'll advise you, he's about a 4-mile left base, runway 20, he'll proceed you.
That's up my car.
Just start down, I don't want to have to stop you, I want you to do this unencumbered so you can get the full experience here.
Oh, thanks, sir, I appreciate that.
You guys are conspiring against me.
Worked out that way. Well, we start like a left 360-degree turn around here.
Okay.
We'll stay a little bit higher to give this guy on the 4-mile right base some time. A nice little view of the airport down there, though.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah, tower sense up, Mike. We're going to just hang up here at 3,500 feet until the Skyline gets a little bit closer.
Solid advice.
Thank you.
Skyline 97 Fox, runway 20, clear to land wind 220 at 5.
Clear to land 20, 197 Fox.
You wouldn't want to have you ruin the spiral. I mean, that'd break my heart.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, no, totally. Torture me. Love it. A little accident down there or something, huh? Yeah. On 91?
Oh, yeah. A little backup.
I guess it's that time of day, though. It's like, well, I don't know, though. It's like 10 to 10. You think
people should be in work already?
Yeah, yeah. Be nice, right? Yeah, look at that. See, it's kind of working its way up a little bit more. We had more Meriden Mountain actually when we took off.
Mike, the traffic is over Wrenchler 700 on left base. You can commence the VFR spiraling descent at your discretion.
So Mike Wilco, got the traffic in sight.
I got him, yep.
Alright, so when we make this turn over here, don't worry about the throttle, of course, but...
So this is, we lost power, we're spiraling down, right?
Correct.
Alright. I'm just trying to think I should be going...
I just want you to think about the emergency procedures. You're actually going to land from this. But
Right.
You're lucking out to have an airport underneath you.
Right, got it.
Alright, engine just died.
Alright, engine just died, so I want to go carpet on.
Well, what do you want to do first?
I want to pitch for best glide.
Okay. Best glide and trim for it, so do that. Yeah, you can probably put in almost all of that nose-up trim, and it's going to hold you just fine.
Yep.
So now you have very little effort to actually hand-fly the airplane.
All right, so I want to look for where I'm going to land. I know where I'm going to land, so I'm going to start kind of turning that way.
Okay.
And I want to go through my checklist. So carb heat on, fuel pump on. I'll do my landing light.
Yeah.
Mixture set to full rich. Primer's locked. I would switch the tanks.
Okay.
Check this. Didn't work in this scenario, right?
Yep. And then
7 Foxtrot,
communicate.
taxi, taxi,
Cox Bradley, Roger, declare an emergency. So, mayday,
7700.
Yep.
This should be it.
Great.
Thank you.
Now what?
So I want to prepare for landing.
Did I miss anything?
Capture, right?
Take that checklist out. So verify everything, because you have the time.
Right. Fuel selector, switch the tanks. Fuel pump is on. Mixture set to full rich, carb heat on, engine gauges, primer's locked. I've done all those things. So we got to go to a power off landing checklist then, right?
I don't know. Do we?
We're doing a power off landing.
Okay. Then yeah, that should probably do that. Yep.
So located suitable field, we have that 1,000 feet above the field at downwind position for a normal landing. Make sure I'm pitching here. When fields can easily be reached, slow to 63. Touchdown should be normal. So at touchdown, we're going to want to go. Yes,
Turn the page on that. It's a power off landing. You know how to do that.
Yep.
Think about securing things. So when you know you can get there, and this is stuff you're going to talk through, obviously don't do it.
Yep.
Kill the master, everything off, fuel selector, I'm sorry, mixture to idle cut off, fuel selector to off, pop the doors. Okay. That sound good?
Yep.
So if I'm your passenger, and I am your passenger, what would you instruct me to do?
Make sure your seatbelt's fastened.
Okay.
You're going to be the one to pop the door.
Entire sense of like, we're in the spiral.
77 Mike, runway 20, clear to land, wind 220 at 5.
Clear to land, runway 20, Cherokee 77 Mike.
This is going to be interesting because we want to be.
You got one more turn, so this is it, right?
Yep.
And you can see we lost about 1,000 feet in each turn.
Yep. This is not setting up well, actually.
Actually, I think you're going to be better than you think.
Okay. Hope
So
so.
you can just keep it coming around, right?
Yep. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, just fly the plane. Rule number 1 in any emergency, fly, 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 fly. Don't focus on the instruments, just look out the window.
Yep. Alright.
Good, so if you need to get there, push and turn if you've got to maintain that close by, but see how this is going to work out great. Good. Butter. Ooh, look at that. Forward slip. Nice. Good. Let it come back a little more. Let it come back. Good. Don't worry about making Charlie. Just keep going. And 77 Mike's going back to midfield.
77 Mike, Roger, turn right taxi, whiskey taxi, ramp this frequency.
The whiskey into the ramp with you for 77 Mike. Thank you for the accommodation.
Yeah, how'd it work out for you?
Oh, a lot of fun.
Okay.
My student might disagree. Good job, man. That was great.
Thanks.
It worked out really well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta open these up. Holy crap, it's yep, that's hot. Oof.
Oh. That forward slip felt like it needed to be there to get down a little sooner.
Nope, that was great. But that's why I have you do that, because the hardest part about that is that last 1,000 feet. Because when you do it in the pattern, it's like, well, we know we're going to get there because this is where we always are. But setting yourself up to get there on your own when you have to get there from above, it's a very different animal, isn't it?
Yes.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. Good job, man.
Thanks. That was fun.
Yeah, you know, little kind of beat and poke around a little bit, but it went really well.
Yeah, I want to.
A few little things, but nothing that's show-stopping. You know what I mean? So it's good.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's again. I like to have the recording now because I can like the emergency stuff.
You can go analyze it and look through it.
Yeah, just nailing down what that mental workflow should be. You know?
Yep. Oh yeah. Nope. That's great. The unusual attitudes are good. Just remember when you have the nose come down,
Pull the power.
yep. Slowly. You know, you have to like rip it back, but you know, smooth, push, level, start getting the nose up.
Yep.
The power, the nose high, unusual attitudes are kind of like a non-event. So
Right. Level of wings.
get the nose down, don't let it stall, keep it level, don't descend and lose altitude. You know, just pretty much your goal is always to get back to straight and level flight and under control again. That's kind of the end means. Let's see. Emergency descent was good. You know, the power off and push method, I actually used to teach that. And then I thought about it myself and I was like, you know, I don't really think that makes a lot of sense. So I changed the way I taught it. So I may have taught you the other way first.
Yeah, you did.
Terry teaches the power off and push method too. That's actually where I learned it from.
Yep.
And then I like the way I do it now better. So it's like, even we learn things, you know what I mean? I'm always kind of finding my own ways that I like to change things up, and if I find a better way to do things, and that is unabashedly a better way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Not to mention, it's really cool to be able to push the nose down that steep.
Oh yeah,
and it serves a purpose. Yeah, it serves a purpose.
Controlled. If you need to get somewhere below you, can get there. Because what I thought about, the reason I changed my mind on it is that, you know, if when I did those power off descents with people, I'm like, you know, if we like had one good field, we would never get back there. Like, push wouldn't happen. I'm like, if you put the flaps out and push, so I just experimented with it, and I've done it in every one of the airplanes we have here, so I can see if it's like an across the board thing that works.
Yeah,
it is. Works out just fine. In fact, the heavier the airplane, the better it works. So if you do it in the Aero, oh my God, it's like being in an elevator.
Yeah.
Just drop.
Should I pull it up? I think it's going up.
Oh yeah. Yep. I'm actually in this again now.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm not sure where we're gonna go, but
yeah.
You can feel like the moisture in the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you sure
in,
do.
it's like.
You're right, though. This is perfect icing conditions.
Oh yeah, we were definitely picking some up too. I don't know if you noticed the little shuddering at certain points, but that's what that was.
That was that Skyline. That must have been. Yeah, it was. That's when I was on base.
197 Fox. I don't know who they are. It's weird. Actually, I know most of the people that are transients coming in and out here because it's the same people all the time, but don't know those two.
I'll just pull it up closer.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Give you less to walk.
I don't care. Yeah, that's fine. I need the exercise anyway. Perfect.
Flaps retracted, throttle 1800. Pull it back. Electric fuel pumps off, lights are off, avionics. We'll get that. Avionics. Should have done that first.
Good.